Welcome to a chaotic TBR jar video that's not your normal TBR jar video. I'm super excited because I often choose a TBR, but I don't like to leave it to fate. I like to choose what I want to read. I am a big time mood reader to the point where when I set too much of a TBR, I end up not reading it, and then I don't read for too long, and then I feel really sad in my heart. But I do really love TBR jar videos. Now, if you've never seen a TBR jar video before, here's how they usually work. You make up a list of prompts. I have a very fun list that's a mix of both things from other TBR jar videos that I found, and just kind of like quirky, unique categories and prompts. You write all of those prompts out on a sheet of paper. You cut up those prompts into little slips. You put all those little slips into some sort of fun jar, and then each month you pick out a certain number of those prompts from the jar and then choose books on your TBR that you haven't read yet that fit that prompt. I have decided to turn it on its head, and instead of using the TBR jar prompts to pick books that I'm going to read for the month, I'm going to use it to recommend books to you that I have already read and loved that fit that prompt. See what I did there? I still get to use a TBR jar, but I'm not beholden to read those books. So here's my cutesy little jar full of all my prompts. I think how many I'm gonna do today, I don't know, until I feel like I'm done yapping. So let's get started. I'm gonna give her a good mix here. I think we'll start with this little guy right here. A book with 450 plus pages. I think I'm gonna go with Heavenly Bodies, which I just finished reading, and if you watch my most recent vlog, I was reading it in that. But just the first even like 50 pages of that book were so stinking good. It is a fantasy, and basically in this world there is stars who are kind of considered like, I guess, the gods or the people that humans pray to, and they also have like physical bodies. They're not kind of like a nebulous god that just lives in the clouds. They like have physical bodies. They each kind of have their own realm that they oversee and that the people in that realm pray to and kind of worship them. And then there's also human kings, queens, royalty in those realms. And there's two realms, Helios and Asteria. And there is a female main character who lives in Asteria. She has something called darkness, which is kind of like shadows. Like, think like Shadow Daddy, but like female. Shadow Mommy, if you will. And then there's, and Helios have the light. And Enzo is the prince, and Alara is the princess with darkness, and he has the light. And so it's this really interesting like fantasy romance about darkness and light and the stars, and are the stars who they really say they are, and how does Alara essentially kind of beat this prophecy that exists that says that she will fall in love with a star and it will kill them both. It is just such a good book. Highly, highly, highly recommend. Heavenly Bodies. That's your first one. All right, next up we're gonna do, this one was right on top. This is Cozy Chaos. I'm gonna say Cozy Chaos. I feel like Rebecca Thorne's like tea book series fits that bill. I have a third book on my TBR actually, Tea at the Altar. I think, yeah, that Tomes and Tea series by Rebecca Thorne is a sapphic cozy fantasy set in this like really cool world. It's great. I would say yes. Tomes and Tea series by Rebecca Thorne. Cozy Chaos. That one, that's a good one to pick up as well. All right, let's see. Let's see what else we've got here. Let's do a book with a color in the title. I would say let us review the reading apps to see if I've read a book with a color in a title. I feel like I have, but nothing is coming to mind. Pass. I cannot think of one off the top of my head, so we're gonna choose another one because I obviously make the rules in this video. All right, let's see. This one's fun. Hot girls. Hello. Hello, beauty guru. There we go. Hot girls have hyperfixations. It's true. I think you could take this one as two different ways. One, it's like, I'm a hot girl, what is my hyperfixation book? The other one is there a main character in a book that has a hyperfixation that's like really unique and quirky and like that works? I'm gonna take it as the first. Oh, this one's hard. I think I would say Futbolista by Johnny Garzavilla is that one for me. That one's one that I think about all the time. I read it earlier this summer. It is Johnny Garzavilla is the author. It is his debut adult book. He has historically written YA. And I've never read any of his YA stuff, but heard it's really, really good. But this adult book was just so stinking funny and sweet and memorable and very well written, very diverse. It's a gay romance, but also had a coming out story. It is, you know, talks a lot about Hispanic and Latina culture. Like, it is just love. I would say that one. That one, I think that one will be my hyperfixation of the year. It definitely is so far. This one, a book with a sequel coming out soon. Ooh, maybe, I don't know if it's coming out soon. That's the problem. Because what is soon? Really, what is soon? Okay, so here's the problem. I don't keep up with upcoming releases very well. Maybe Metal Slinger? Is a sequel to that coming out soon? We'll go with the sequel to Metal Slinger, whenever that comes out. But Metal Slinger, very good book. If you haven't already read it, the twist at the end of that fantasy, whoa. Next on a little jar here, let's pull something from the bottom. 3 more came out. So you know what? These will be our final 3. Excuse all the animal hair on that one. A book with water on the cover. I already know which one I want to do for this. This one is The Deep by River Solomon. So good, super, super unique, kind of really short. I think this one is like maybe 200 pages. Almost like a novella, but it doesn't like feel like a novella. It feels more like a fable. It feels like your great grandma sat down and told you a story that she had heard as a girl that had been passed down generation to generation to generation about their culture and their people. It is so beautiful and magical. It is basically about this girl who is kind of like the historian of her community, and they are essentially kind of mermaids-ish. They live in the sea, and she basically holds all of the memories for her people. So she holds all of their hurt, and she decides that she doesn't want to do that anymore. And the story is about all of the kind of like domino effects of her making that decision. It is fabulous. Fabulous. Next. Oh, speaking of water, this book is my emotional support water bottle. Oh, there's just so many. I'm gonna give you a few because I simply can't choose one for this one. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with, this is so hard to choose. Our Infinite Fates, which is a fantasy. Love transcends through time and we keep being reincarnated and finding each other. Beautiful. Here We Go Again. Really beautiful sapphic romance, also about grief and dying and end of life and caretaking and second chance and enemies to lovers and just all of the tropes, but like beautiful. Yeah, that one's on there. Oh, and Triple Sec. That was just a fun polyamorous LGBTQ romance. That one's fun, spicy, but fun. And then last but not least, our final prompt of this video. Oh, here we go. Here we go. BookTok made me do it. And I'm gonna expand that to be like BookTok, BookTube, Bookstagram made me do it. We're gonna do 2 for this one. Slipstream by Madge Merrill Madge Merrill is actually a local Cincinnati author, and the Cincinnati Library did this like event where she came to speak, and I got to help the library promote the event and got to read the book early, and it was freaking fantastic. So that one's kind of like local book community made me do it, but like I'm not mad about it at all. And then Blood Moon by Brittany S. Lewis. That one is definitely a saw it all over Bookstagram, and got lucky enough to also receive an arc of that. So good. That one's fantasy romance, vampire werewolf, think Twilight Vampire Diaries, but redone and make it diverse. What could be better? Okay, that is today's video. Let me know if you liked it. Let me know if you want to see another one of these, because I still have some prompts that I can pick from, so maybe I'll do another one next month. And if you have any prompts of like really specific kind of like niche weird book recommendations that you want, let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll add it to my next round of slips in my little cute jar. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Bye!